I've never seen it. I'm not gonna say I'm surprised by it though.
Okay, cool. I didn't say that.
But that's why I'm not.
I know where I am too. But you've never in your whole life you've never seen nothing like that. That shit is scary. What the fuck is going on?
I'm not saying it's supposed to happen.
And I'm not
what
saying
I'm saying is I'm not surprised by it because look what they do.
And what he's saying is a cavalier attitude like that is dangerous. Is what he's saying. What he's saying is right.
I'm living in the real world though. At the same time,
respect, but the way that right there is dangerous.
Mona shoots at Ice for being a hypocrite and tells Joe Budden to fire Ish and Ice.
I looked you dead in your eye and said, you don't need these. Go solo.
But you said that?
She said it. I remember.
Yes, ever since Mona has arrived on the Joe Budden podcast, she has caused a firestorm, causing a reckoning to the structure that predates her time on the Joe Budden podcast. With her ways of over-speaking and always shutting down other people.
Remember the bag you said was going to buy me, the leather Italian bag?
I'm about to get mad, yo.
The old Celine vintage bag.
It's already creating issues just 2 episodes in. And Ice was first on the chopping block. Now, the first time Mona and Ice clashed was when they were talking about the political situation involving Charlie Kirk, and Ice brought his generally apathetic self about the subject, saying people shouldn't really care about things and the political spectrum isn't really much of his concern. But Mona would call him out and talk about the hypocrisy and how certain people on the political spectrum get praise, yet that same praise and protection isn't extended to others. Now, Ice was out of his depth largely because I believe Mona is just able to COE people, but in that scenario, she deeply believed that Ice's whole approach to the situation wasn't good. And I think what Ice could have done there is it's okay if you're apathetic. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm saying it's okay to be apathetic if you have talking points to back up why your apathy matters. Like if you say, I'm apathetic about the performative stuff because I do back end work, I see ways to help people, and, I go to an after school and I promote how to make good content. I talk to political folks about ways to help our communities. Then that type of apathy helps because you're like, oh, I don't care about this because there's actual real world ways to make changes. I don't just want to be a podcaster who talks about things but doesn't really take the steps. Maybe that's a way he can combat it. He just has to be able to make his point come across in a way that's substantial. Otherwise, he just looks like he stands for nothing. But then again, Ice is pretty self-admittedly said that he doesn't stand for anything. Other issues arose when it was brought up that Mona told Joe Budden to fire Ish and Ice on her initial guest interview on the podcast. Now, it may seem like that's a joke, but I truly believe that Mona believes that. I think it's funny how anytime a member of the show joins the Joe Budden podcast, it almost feels like they're speaking for Joe Budden, right? Remember when Imani got there, he was telling everybody like, yo, y'all need to give it up. How come y'all don't give it up? Then remember when Flip got there, he was like, oh man, Flip, he was like, Ish, people are afraid to say things and Joe doesn't want to say it.
He does this thing because he doesn't want to hurt feelings, so he's going to try to walk around it and make it butter it up. You not the realest in the room. Stop doing that. Like, you the go-to. Like, yo, everybody else up here fronting except you.
I think before people arrive to the show, Joe Budden speaks to everybody. He'll be like, yeah, I don't know. Ish and Ice ain't really giving it up. They were so different when they got here. And Joe Budden has done the same with Mona, which is why I believe that she really believes Ish and Ice need to get up off that couch. I think she thinks she sees value in Flip. She sees value in Imani. Obviously, you see value in Parks because Parks has been there for 10 years. He does the sound and all of that jazz. But when she looks at Ish and Ice, she be trying to coach them. Have you seen the pod? When Ish and Ice talk sometimes? Remember when Ice he saw something happening off to the side?
That don't mean... What the...
Come on, let's keep moving. Keep it moving, guys. Keep it moving. Why are we going to all stop? Keep it moving.
Mona checked it like, yo, we need to talk. Y'all can't just be not talking about stuff just because something is going off to the side. Let's keep the podcast going. She don't believe in them folks. I'm telling you that right now. And another reason why I believe she don't believe in them folks is she confuses Ice and Ish often by name. She calls Ice Ish. She calls Ish Ice. And I have a theory that I've held throughout my life. Not knowing someone's name is the highest sign of disrespect. I think it's a higher sign of disrespect than someone inviting you to the Frank stand. Now, the reason I say that is because somebody is actively choosing not to know your name. It means you aren't notable enough to them to remember who you are. And let's look at ourselves in life. If we go somewhere and someone knows our names, we feel empowered. But then when someone forgets our names, like, yo, you don't really know my name? And it's not like I'm some nobody. I'm a member of the Joe Budden podcast. So you couldn't take the time out to find out that I am Ish. I mean, I don't look nothing like Ice. And Ice is probably thinking the same. I don't look nothing like Ish. So who do you think you are to not know my name? I think that's a little bit Hollywood and could be a sign of where Mona sees herself in the organizational structure because she just got there. She's already talking about the bags that she's getting. She said Joe dropped a bag. Also, I'm sure she knows Park's name. She knows Joe Budden's name. She knows Imani's name. She's already having you all know, or all of us know, all right, I see Joe at the top. I see Ian at the top. I see Imani at the top. I see Flip kind of up there because he brings energy to the show. But the rest of y'all ain't nothing. Now, that's just how I see it. That's how I'm speaking about it. I mean, just look at who she prefers on the show. And I'm telling you, it's going to play out for the rest of the show. It's going to play out for the rest of the show. And Mona will present problems for Flip, Ice, Ish. You know, Flip is going to be even more demoralized. Flip is already going through it. Flip is already talking about how he feels like other people value other voices on the cast. And he's talking about Mona. He's talking about Mark. And he's even talking about Ish and, you know, all these folks that people want to hear from. So we'll have to see how it plays out with Ice, though, because we all know Ice has a history of being sensitive. And it's been called out by people like Flip.
This nigga said she's still there.
She's there, Free. She love you so much she'll meet you at the spot, nigga. She'll wait.
Alone, bro.
Free, you got it on lock.
Else on their phone. I'm chilling until we start.
You don't play. It's the first time I seen you like that.
Freeze, we started.
Nigga got the red hat on. Come on, man.
There's been moments with Flip where, you know, Flip was trying to have fun with him and like joke on him a little bit, and Flip just like, man, Ice, you always shut down. Then Ish even called him out, pointing out how Ice is so moody. He'll be quiet for long periods of time. If you crack on him,
He escaped. After you killed Malcolm, you left. That's how you got away, Bradley.
It's called being a team player, man. You quiet sometimes. You look up.
Oh, damn, Free.
I don't.
Oh, damn, Free.
I don't.
well, what is he going to do with Mona? Mona is going to crack on Ice. And she's going to do so while bigging up Joe. She was going hard for Joe that first episode. Talking about, Joe, you get all the baddies. I could talk to you about eating butt. And I could talk to you about all the sexual stuff. You don't know Ice and Ish. You don't know how they give it up. Their style may be buck wild. So why are you casting aspersions on them? Did you take time to know them? Are you not taking time to know them because you've already assessed their value and don't feel like talking to them is something that you should do? You feel like you're above them? Also, what's Ish and Ice's value to the podcast? Y'all remember when they first got there, it was often positioned as if, oh, Ish and Ice saved the pod. A lot of people were gonna quit watching the pod, but when they got there, they stabilized the show. They only lasted like a couple years before Joe felt like he had to bring in Flip and Melissa Ford and then Mona. So what is that value really worth if Joe felt like he needed to switch up the whole flow? And remember when they first got there, you know, Flip, Melissa, and all them, and Mark, it was like, oh, we just want to give you some days off. And it don't really look like they take too many days off. I know sometimes they take days off, but with a cast that big, it don't look like they get the amount of time that they need to feel re-energized. I mean, there's even people who I interviewed who say it's like a sweatshop over there.
I think Joe, I know you know how much Joe records. I don't
Yeah.
think people understand.
Mhm.
He's really, I mean, I don't want to say this because you know, Ish is my dude. Ice is good with V, so is Imani. You know, Flip, whenever I see him, it's all love. He's really running a high-end sweatshop.
Heineken said that when I sat down to interview him. So the industry seems to think that Joe Budden is overworking his co-host. And I know a lot of people in the comments or a lot of people who watch say, podcasting isn't real work. It is, man. I know a lot of people don't see it that way, but it is. It's not as hard as, moving, big pieces of equipment or making cars, but it is hard to do the creative process in a way that other people find entertaining. Sure, we can say that we could do a pod, but when you do a pod, will the pod be engaging? So there is a balance, and sometimes creativity can cause a lot of stress on the brain, especially if it's not enjoyable or something you grew up doing. But let's see where Mona versus Ice goes. Mona is throwing a real curveball into the plans of the Newark boys. Remember when they first got there, they said they didn't really want to pod. They said they didn't really enjoy podding. But now they're here like 4 years in, and it seems like they really enjoy the check. So now they're at a conundrum where they're at will to Joe Budden's decisions, and whatever issues they have are something they're going to have to figure out, because the way Ish talks, like he has so many other businesses, but he's never left the show. I mean, at least Ice is honest in saying that he loves working for the show. This is light. We'll have to see where this goes. All right, y'all. Let me know what you think about Ice vs. Mona in the comments. Follow me on Instagram, The Stop TV. Follow me on Patreon, The Stop TV. There's a lot of content there. This is Danny from The Stop. Peace.